So we did 15 kilometers in all this crap yesterday.
Yes.
And we have another 15 kilometers to do today, which has made the 5 stages we're shooting really kind of the easy part of the day.
Yeah, I don't really care about the shooting anymore. It's just like I'm waiting for the next run that I have to survive in it. Yesterday it was really awful, but today I don't know if I will be able to run. Like I'll probably have to walk, but I don't know.
Walking is acceptable. Modified is
We are back for day 2, Finnish Brutality. I was sort of able to walk this morning, and so of course the first stage is going to involve sprinting. But first, I have to dump this Grand Thumb body pillow off of myself and stab him in the face. Then promptly forget to rack around into my Laugo Alien. Oops. However, once I get that round in the chamber, we proceed to engage a pistol spinner, which I'm pretty pleased with my performance on. I was able to start off with a bunch of repeat hits. I got a double tap or 2 on the bottom plate. And the whole point of the spinner, the key is consistency. Wait for it. Don't shoot it there. Wait for it to come back one more time. One last hit. Mag locks open. Spinner goes over. Wonderful success. Now, we're going to grab our rifle and head to a series of 3 VTAC barricades. This was actually, other than the pistol spinner, one of the easier shooting challenges of the match. There are 2 silhouettes back there. No no-shoots in the way. Nothing like that like we had yesterday. You simply have to hit each target once from each of 2 boxes. Note the tubes in front of the VTAC here. They had set up some pyrotechnics that would go off to simulate theoretically incoming mortar fire and distract you. Frankly, what I found, there goes one right there. What I found is I didn't even notice when it went off. It looks cool on video, but I was completely oblivious to that thing while I was actually shooting the stage. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this third VTAC is a little bit more difficult, and I have a little bit of trouble with it because instead of the big square boxes, we're shooting through the narrow angled slits, and I had to try and remember exactly what my red dot holdovers were when I'm canting the rifle around, so it took me a couple extra shots, but finally I get on target here, get my hits, move to the second one. Now, with the last shot on this stage, after I get these 2, you then pull the magazine and fire 1 shot at either of the steel plates. It's a 60-second penalty if you miss it. And the reason that that's done is that now the rifle is absolutely 100% unloaded. You pulled the mag and there was a round in the chamber and you fired it. So now the 180 doesn't apply. You can point the muzzle downrange. You don't want to, but you are not going to be DQ'd for flagging anyone with the muzzle. And then you sprint all the way back down the bay where we have a brand new fantastic Sako sniper rifle with 1 cartridge in it. And there is a little tiny, I think it's a 4-inch plate sitting at the end of the bay there, which is totally invisible. And you get 1 shot to try and hit it. A lot of people timed out before they got to this shot. I was very happy that I hit that shot. That got me my 20-second bonus. And I did really well on this stage.
How you feeling?
Shoot!
I did it!
Zip up!
That was good.
On deck! Michael!
Thank you. All right, now time to go run. Yeah.
And now off to another fun 26 minutes of running. All right, this stage, sprint and repeat, this is actually the same basic setup as the trench stage, the infamous trench stage from last year's Finnish Brutality. There are 4 shooting points, each with a little small hanging plate target. You have to get a total of 13 hits. The trick is you are only allowed 1 shot from each position. If you miss the shot, you have to move to the next position and get to try again. No penalty, but you have to keep going back and forth across the range under the Sisu armored truck here between the second and third positions. You have to just simply keep doing this until you get a total of 13 hits. So the more you miss, the more the stage sucks and the more work you have to put in. So I made sure, like I used my bipod here, which was very nice. I have a very light BNT bipod on this thing. It's great for this sort of stage. And that allowed me, between that and the magnifier, I was able to see the small dirt-colored targets. I took my time, made sure I got a really good trigger press on each one because I really did not want to miss. You start missing on a stage like this, and that's where you time out. I also opted to use knee pads on this stage. I was carrying them for the entire match in my backpack. As part of Armored Division, if you carry the gear with you, you're allowed to use it. this was the only stage where just the awkwardness of having knee pads strapped on seemed like it would actually make sense. And it totally did. I would have had even more cuts and scrapes on my knees had I chosen not to use the knee pads. So of course I'm running this whole match in a Varusteleka M05 Finnish camo kilt because, hey, I've got a Scottish family and I thought it would be cool. I tried using it last year at Finnish Brutality and it was just a lot colder than I anticipated. And then I got it all soaking wet in the trench on this stage, and so I switched to regular pants. This year, all kilt all the way. I don't regret it. A lot of people suggested that that was a disadvantage. Frankly, it wasn't a disadvantage in any way except for the occasional scrape on the knee because, well, I didn't have anything covering my knees. So we're getting close here. This is a really physically draining stage. I'm doing the whole match in about a little over 25 pounds of gear, and the up and down sort of rifle burpee element of this stage really starts to drag on you after you're a couple minutes in. But I am doing well here. I'm on the right track. All I have to do is keep it up and I should be okay. Doing a weird crawl under, I just got it in my head that I wanted to stay pointed downrange, so instead of crawling forward under the truck, I was doing this sort of weird sideways scooch, which probably isn't ideal, but it did work. There we go. This is shot number 12. Hit. So far clean. And sprint to the very last one. Can I do it? I am almost out of time here. A lot of people timed out on this stage. And there we go. 13 for 13. Not my best time-wise stage, but really happy with the overall performance on this.
Holy cow, that was hard. That was one of the first stages I've shot where I got halfway through and I'm like, oh, maybe I just wanted to give up and stop. It doesn't look hard. It doesn't sound hard. It is really hard.
And I'm getting kind of raspy here from heavy breathing on yet another 3-kilometer run. All right, stage 8. Don't suck. Generally good advice for all sorts of matches. This stage, you start in the turret of a Russian BMP. You have to engage a couple of targets here, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did previously, where the last shot, which is on, as always, a smaller, more difficult target, you drop your magazine, you have to retain it, and you have one shot to make a hit on that target. And now, again, we know that the rifle is completely safe and empty. So the 180 does not apply until we reload it, and that means I can drag the thing through the BMP, except I get the sling caught on a hook above the deck there. Anyway, you crawl through the BMP, out the back, over to a shooting box, where you then have to engage the 2 small silhouettes that are out there. So reload. I'm really quite happy with my hits on this one. Once again, I'm using a magnifier. It's not because the targets are too small to hit without a magnifier. It's because the targets are too difficult to spot without that magnifier. And I'm really glad I brought that thing with me. And it was a huge help for me. So hit our 2 targets, 4 hits total here once again. Then we have to unstick the BMP, which we stuck in place yesterday with this birch log. So get that thing out of there. Back through the crawling tunnel, and we're going to make one more, well, another set of hits on those silhouette targets. This time I decided to go prone because here it is 2 silhouettes, then I have to drop the magazine, retain it, and I have a 1-shot chance to make the center small target again. Those single shots are, of course, 60-second penalties if you miss them. And a lot of people did miss those shots. A lot of people also had trouble wiggling their way in and out of the BMP. These things are insanely tiny vehicles, definitely not designed for anybody wearing actual kit. A lot of people had trouble crawling through that thing. I did pretty well, pretty okay on it here. So last element of the stage is to hit the silhouettes again and the small target to end the stage. This is another one where I wasn't, in the top 5 people, but I did really pretty darn well. In fact, oh, there you go, I was in the top 10.
Hold the bolt open.
Oh, I'm making a lot of grunting noises now.
And now, of course, off for another enjoyable run. Stage 9. I had thought that the crawling stage was, under the truck, was the most physically demanding one of the match. And it was up until this one, which is really deceptive. So we've got I believe that was a 26-pound kettlebell there, a good and heavy one. You carry it between 2 pistol bays. Each one, that white popper is a no-shoot. There's a large-ish target on one side and a smallish target on the other side. And you have to hit them each, but you only get 1 shot each. If you miss or hit the no-shoot, you leave the kettlebell where it is, run all the way back to the first pistol bay, and take a penalty shot that counts for nothing, but you have to do it. The stage ends when you have hit 12 of the targets that count. So you have to do 6 bays. So you're going to go bay 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, and 3 again. As with all of the stages in Finnish Brutality, there is a 3-minute par time. If you don't finish it in 3 minutes, you have to stop and you take a 60-second penalty for each required hit you have not yet gotten. So I'm doing pretty well here. I actually remembered to keep a proper grip on the Laugo, so I don't have any malfunctions with it. It shoots great. The kettlebell is an absolute beast here. It doesn't look like it. I didn't expect it going in, but oh my god, it's just soul-crushing. Especially given that at this point, I ran 15 kilometers in kit yesterday, and I've run another 9 this morning. Oh, there we go. Now I'm starting to get tired. I do, in fact, take a high grip on the gun and bounce a case back into the chamber. This is the classic lefty issue with the Laugo. But I get both of my hits, so no penalties yet. That was bay number 3. This is bay number 4. And this will be shots, I believe, 7 and 8 out of 12. Drop the kettlebell. There's the one. And... oh, that's a miss. Sorry, these were shots 9 and 10. I was getting close to the end, got tired, missed the shot. So now I have to run back to the first bay, to the cone. There are no penalties here. There's no no-shoot. You can take as many shots as you need, but it's a big, easy target. Basically, the penalty is you have to run back and take the time and effort to run back to the first bay. So I come back here, and I again have 1 shot to make on this small target, and I flub it again. So it's back to the penalty bay. This, like I said, this got to be pretty soul-crushing. This was definitely the most physically demanding stage of the entire match. So I make that penalty. I know time's running really short here, but I'm going to keep trying, and there it is. Timed out, so 3 penalties here. You can see 45th place with 3 penalties. A lot of other people had problems here as well.
Holster.
That was horrible.
Aika 1.80. So you're feeling pretty good right now?
That was horrible. Did I say that?
Yeah.
That was horrible. Oh.
And of course, having finished that run, it's time for another 3K run in my kit. And now, the very last stage of Finnish Brutality. So, you can see that H bar in the center there. Our targets are 2 silhouettes that are each tightly bracketed by a pair of no-shoots. You have to make 5 hits with the rifle from that table. You then have to go over the bar, and you have to make 5 hits from this table with the pistol. You get as many shots as you need. You also get as many penalties as you manage to put holes through those paper no-shoots. There was a choice here. You can see a second box off to my left. Both the rifle and the pistol targets had alternative shooting positions. If you wanted to take the gun and run another 4 or 5 yards to one side, you could get a shooting position where the no-shoots weren't in your line of fire at all. So you could get a clean shooting position. I figured that these shots actually weren't so difficult as to be a problem, and I opted to take them all from the tables to save time. You can see cone off to the side of the H-bar. You also had the option to do a circle or a couple of loops around that bar instead of going over it, which I also opted not to do. The standard solution for people here was to actually grip the bar, plant their belly on it, and like do a 360-degree roll over the bar, which I guess works. Definitely a little bit disorienting, and I was able, like I've got the leg strength to just leapfrog this thing every time, fortunately. So it was getting pretty exhausting by the end there. My legs have had, at this point, what do I have? I have 12 kilometers down today, 15 in addition to that yesterday. Like, I'm ready to stop jumping over that stupid bar. But fortunately, I was able to get through this with no penalties.
I thought I was done. And he took just that extra moment before saying it. I'm like, oh, another one.
All right, video evidence, the very end of my last run of the match. And what do you have to do at the end? You push hard, of course. Speed it up across the field.
That is the first truly brutality match we've had. Is that a long drink? That's a long drink. That's all I got. So, my total time, running time for the match is 4 hours, 20 minutes, and 17 seconds. With 12 kilos, which is something like 26 pounds of armor, water, ammo, food, rifle, well, plus the rifle, pistol. That was actually the first time we've, I would say, done truly a brutality match. The whole idea of brutality was to see how you shoot under physical stress. And so particularly physical stages are intended to get you gassed out a little bit. And what I have now realized is that none of them came anywhere close, and perhaps I should have realized that before. What gets it close is doing 4 hours of running, essentially running in kit, for me, for 25 minutes before or after every single stage. And it had a really substantial impact on my shooting performance. All of the stages where we're running in the stage, the stages where we're jumping over things, just trigger control and accuracy all go way down the tubes with that kind of actual physical stress. So I'll have a conclusion after this once I've had time to like recuperate a little bit. I'm not really braining so much at the moment, but I am extremely happy to have finished it from TST.
3, 2, 1.